Hello everyone, how are you? Hope you're all doing well today. My name is Chris and I am a customer support manager here at Market Dojo. But today I'm going to bring up my inner Oprah and we'll be interviewing our CEO and co-founder Alun Rafique. This is the first in what we hope is a series of interviews we have with our team here, so we would appreciate any feedback at the end of the call. Today we will of course be discussing COVID-19 and the brave new world and hopefully finding out a bit more about Alun himself and Market Dojo. If you have any questions at all for Alun you'd like to ask, please submit them throughout and I'll ask them where possible. So Alun, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm very good, Chris. Thanks for organising this. A bit nervous, not sure what to expect. Keep it clean, and yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
It'll be as clean as possible, don't you worry. So what we're going to do to start off with is just to find out a bit more about yourself. I'm going to ask you 10 quick fire questions. So
Sure.
No pressure, just first answer that comes to your head. Let us all know what it is really. So here we go. Number one, what was the first single you brought?
First thing, actually, I bought 2 albums of the first CDs I ever bought. It was the soundtrack to Dick Tracy by Madonna and an Elton John album. I think it was Sleeping with the Past. I'm not sure. So yeah.
So you're an 80s child.
Yeah,
if you could eat any type of food right now, what would you eat?
I'd probably go chocolate. It'd probably be chocolate. There was a chocolate I used to have as a kid that I recently found back in IKEA. I think it's Marabou, and it's just this sublime milk chocolate in a little kind of circular wrapper, a bit like Rolos, which is just insanely good. So I'd probably have that.
Next question is, who is your hero?
Who is my hero? Not much one for hero worship. I'd probably go either my parents to be my heroes or my children, who are equally heroes, especially in these trying times. They've been awesome during all the lockdowns, so they'd be my heroes.
Question 4 is, if you could be any animal, what would you be?
I would be. I've always liked a dragonfly. They're really elegant creatures. Sounds a bit strange, but I used to be an aeronautical engineer, and they're fantastic little flying mechanisms, really graceful. So yeah, I think I'd go for a dragonfly.
And then, what is your favourite film?
My favourite film would change depending on kind of mood I'm in. One of the films I've always liked Dune, which is an 80s classic, even though it was a flop at the time. I think they've just remade it, David Lynch film. Or actually Mad Dog and Glory is one which I've always liked, with Dustin Hoffman in it, and is it Al Pacino? It's got some great quotes in that film, which I quite often use.
Use one now.
I am the expediter of your dreams.
Ooh, cheeky. If you could swap lives with anyone for a day, who would it be?
I would probably say someone like Elon Musk or Branson, just because to see how they manage to manage all the different companies when there's only like so many hours in a day. So I'd love to know how they kind of do that side of things.
And then, what was your first car?
Who would you swap lives with if you had a choice?
Me?
Yeah.
I'd probably swap lives with you, and then I'd quadruple my wage, and then so the next day I'm happy.
Good answer. Money's not
Thank you.
going to make you happy, Chris.
Oh no, but it will. What was your first car?
Mini City, Dayglow orange, and I put some white stripes on it.
I mean, if you could go back in time, where would you go?
My children are really into dinosaurs at the moment, so I'd probably go back to the prehistoric age. I recently played a game with my son Logan and my daughter Eva, and Eva had to think of an animal. We had to guess it, and we got it down to a small dinosaur. And I looked at my son thinking, well, Eva doesn't know any small dinosaurs. So we asked Eva, do you know the name of this dinosaur? And Eva said, with a big smile on her face, yeah, Karen. It was
Classic.
typical. It ended up being a baby Tyrannosaurus Rex called Karen. It was quite. I think she won the game. But yeah, dinosaurs. Go back to the time of the dinosaurs. See what they were like.
So
How
good
about
answer.
yourself? Where would you go?
Oh, uh, I don't really know. I reckon the one place I would want to go back is a couple of years ago. Me and my friends went to Madrid for the week, and one of my friends hid the room key, and it caused a lot of arguments and stuff. So I would just like to go back and tell him not to bother doing that, because we still go on about this key to the day, and it's just a bit annoying. So I just wish he'd never hid it. Nice and simple, really.
I could think of a few of those.
Yeah, just for me, we still go on about it now. So next question: is it true your favourite sandwich is peanut butter and cheese?
I forgot I mentioned that before. Yeah, it
Oh,
is from my childhood. My mum used to make peanut butter and cheese sandwiches. Although now I've perfected it, and I put a bit of Marmite in there as well, and maybe a bit of butter if I'm feeling very unhealthy. Yeah, so the answer is yes.
and then the last quickfire question for you is: when all restrictions are lifted, where is the first place you want to go?
Oh, good question. A place I've always wanted to go with the family is a place called Santiago de Compostela in northern Spain. I used to sell engineering software around Spain, and it's a really beautiful area of Spain, lovely food. So I'd probably try for that if I could.
Not a bad shout. Somewhere nice and warm.
Yeah, it's
So,
very nice.
so how have you found lockdown anyway, personally?
I think there's been lots of real benefits. A bit more time because you're not commuting, a bit more money from the petrol, more time with the kids. So the kids have been, a real bonus to have them around. In terms of the challenges, though, I'd probably say kids being the real challenge. Homeschooling them, really tough. Kudos to all the teachers out there. And missing the face-to-face time with everyone, really. How about yourself? Have you found it?
I hated it, to be honest. The first lockdown, I just hated being at home, found it really boring. I got really fat. I didn't have a routine or anything. And then gradually I've got more and more used to it, and I'm a lot more all right with it now. But I mean, a year ago, I was ordering two large pizzas for my lunch, just out of boredom, really. But yeah, and how have you found lockdown being the CEO of Market Dojo then?
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I did like your lunchtime lecture on how you kind of changed your habits and all the exercise you're doing. I think that's very impressive on that side. I
Thank
mean,
you.
in terms of as CEO of Market Dojo, I think we recognised the challenges very quickly that the first lockdown would bring. And the second and third lockdown haven't brought the same kind of challenges. We've got a very strong team, and I've got some very good fellow co-founders who I started the company with. We assessed the needs of the customers. We made a plan and we stuck to it. Communication was a big part of that, key to make sure everyone knows what's going on. And the benefit was we still managed to grow compared to the previous year.
Yeah, I
Which is
think
nice.
something that's been quite good from my point of view is you've been quite open throughout the year to us all here at Market Dojo, and with your decisions and stuff. But what would you say the hardest decision you had to make was over the last year?
The hardest decision. I mean, we when COVID hit, we knew that a lot of new business would be delayed because people were putting off making decisions. We cut some of our costs, not our staff. I think some of the hardest decisions was knowing when not to cut the costs, especially with the small providers that we work with. I think that was probably very hard to decide when not to do something.
And would you have done anything differently looking back on it all?
My initial thought would be no. We made a plan and we stuck to it. However, I think if we'd have known how long it really would have gone on, we'd have probably tried to focus more on the actually the kind of the company and the new culture. We weren't, we thought we were just going to be out of the office for a few months, and here we are a year later. So I think that's some of the thing that we worked very hard at, and we probably could have looked at that more closely to begin with.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously I know what you've done to support staff over last year, but would you like to tell everyone else what you've done to support staff whilst working from home?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're very lucky. It's Market Dojo, everything's online, so working from home was very easy. All our software's online. Creating a kind of a general virtual community is always challenging. We look at good communication, a lot of COVID updates with the staff, or weekly meetings, some quizzes that you've run, which have been really helpful. We now have a wellness officer. Toby, who's hosting this call, is now our wellness officer. And, we're looking forward to getting back in the office with some kind of hybrid system, maybe a more relaxed but functional environment. I mean, how do you find it, Chris, being one of our employees?
I've found it good, to be honest. I found the communication between you and everyone's been really good, and it's been nice to kind of not help with your decisions, but know what your decisions, why you made your decisions. So that's been nice to see. And putting the quizzes in at the start was good, even though I think a lot of people got too quizzed out towards the end. I mean, I think most of us could probably go to pub quizzes now and win them, because we've probably covered most questions. But yeah, I think everything's good. I think the new wellness officer should do a lot of good for us all as well. And yeah, it's been fine from my point of view. And
I think we've had a very good team. A lot of people who get on with stuff, which is nice. I think we're very lucky in that respect.
yeah, I think it's good that you've trusted us quite a lot, because it must have been quite hard for you to have us all in the office to then work from home and then just trust we were going to work. So it's been quite nice that it hasn't felt like you were looking at us all the time and seeing what work you were doing. And if you were doing that, fair play, I haven't personally noticed, but that's what I quite liked. And then how do you think our customers reacted to the first lockdown?
Yeah, our customers have been great. I mean, look, we've got virtual online tools, so it helps our customers to work from home in a virtual environment, communication with their team. Initially, a lot of the customers looked at managing their data and their risk, and then managing their cost tools later in the lockdown. We doubled the number of users in the first 3 months. We offered a lot of tools to help our customers around a free COVID RFI, a free auction for the NHS. We did consultative advice, flexible payment terms, and it's a massive thanks to our customers who treated us really well, and took on board the fact that we're a small business, and that's massive thank you to them. And we've now developed a community site as well for the customers to interact with each other. I mean, yourself, Chris, being on the support side, how did you find the first few months?
Really busy. I mean, my workload massively increased, and it's still increasing now. I personally thought when the first lockdown came, I'm in for a few weeks of not doing a lot, to be honest. And then, but no, my workload doubled now. And if I look at the stats now, like 18 months ago, if I had 60 support tickets in a week, I would consider myself to have a really busy week. Monday just gone, I had 45 tickets in a day. So I've really, so the volume, and I just feel like people are seeing the benefits we can offer and using us more, which is really nice to see.
Yeah, I think it's the virtual environment needs online tools, and emails and spreadsheets just lose the data. So, I've certainly seen, you didn't get a break, and you've done a great job.
Thank you. And then, but how do you feel Market Dojo can help other businesses in the brave new world?
I think there's a realization in the supply chain now of the challenges that are faced from these kind of lockdowns, and procurement are the new heroes in organizations, helping to maintain profits when sales are dropping. We're developing our portfolio more to help people master their supply chain decisions, so to manage data, to mitigate risk, to minimize their costs. We've just brought out a new SRM tool, in the portfolio, of which we're going to be doing more with that. So it's a lot around helping people around the risk, the data, and the cost side of things, and that's really where we've been driven.
Yeah, as you mentioned there during lockdown and Market Dojo, unfortunately during lockdown we missed our 10th birthday party, and Market Dojo is now into double figures. So how did Market Dojo start nearly over 10 years ago?
Good question. How do you start any business? I think a simple answer to that, because we were chatting a lot with the co-founders about what kind of businesses we could start, and in the end, it just came down to stick with what you know. And we know procurement, we know auctions. That's where we started, starting with pay-as-you-go on-demand auctions, and then opening it up to the masses. So yeah, that's a really simple answer there.
A question I personally get quite a lot from people is, where did the name Market Dojo come from? So where did the name Market Dojo come from?
Well, I think that we were discussing it with Nick Drew, and we had the word, I think mojo came up, then the word dojo came up. That Nick remembers from a nightclub in Bristol. I remember from my martial art days when I did a bit of martial arts. And Market Dojo can actually literally be translated in Japanese as kind of a way to market, because dojo is place of the way in Japanese. So that's kind of where it came from.
I like how you tried to claim yours as martial arts, where I have a feeling it was both to do with clubs, and you just said that just to
make it that you weren't just drunk in a club.
do martial arts in the club, but why not?
Yeah.
I mean, how's the last 10 years been for you being here at Market Dojo?
Yeah, it's been, the journey's been very, very good for us. I mean, I really like I was mentoring someone from Bristol University the other day, and he was kind of working out what he wanted to do in life. And I kind of brought the Japanese philosophy, is it ikigai or something, where you do things that you enjoy, that you're good at, that can make money, and that the world needs. And I think, that's what Market Dojo does for me. It's a very enjoyable life, and hopefully it is for the employees as well in our company.
Yeah, then obviously apart from hiring me earlier, would you have done anything differently?
Probably not. That would be it.
That's what I agree.
I think one of the things we'd like to do, or like to have done more of, although it's always challenging, is one of our unique selling points is around our on-demand offering. So getting that message out there sooner, I think, would be, and try to spread it more quickly, is one of the things that a lot of customers really like about us. So I think that could be one area we'd really like to focus upon.
Yeah, then obviously 10 years down, many more to go. What do you think the future looks like for Market Dojo?
It's very bright. I mean, at the moment, procurement are recognised as a real linchpin in organisations. I think a lot of companies have understood that their lack of understanding of their supply chain when the first lockdown hit, and risk mitigation procedures was a real challenge, and competitors who had a handle on that really kind of were propelled forward more quickly. Procurement are very good at looking at optimizing the cash flow, internal and external collaboration, looking at supply chain resilience. Market Dojo are a best of breed provider, and best of breed ecosystems are now very much a norm outside of ERP systems. I think ERP systems of old really haven't brought about the benefits that people have desired. And Market Dojo are recognized as a real enabler and a real leader in the field now. We've got, I'm very proud, as I'm sure my fellow co-founders are, proud of the organization, and very proud of the team that we have, and very proud of our customers. And so in short, I would probably say, I'm very excited about the future to come.
I think that's all I wanted to cover with you today, Adam. Was there anything else you wanted to add at all?
It's very interesting to do this webinar. Hopefully we'll do a few more of them with looking at the team. I think it's maybe I could interview you one of these days. It,
Good luck.
it's nice. It's nice to get out a personal side from this. I think we do have a fantastic team, and it's the team that make Market Dojo, and I really enjoy kind of getting that message out there, and being able to answer some quick fire questions. It's been a lot of fun.
We do have a question that's come through if you're prepared to answer any more questions.
Yeah, I could try. Go on.
Is what have you found to be the biggest eye-opener as a result of the pandemic?
It's the biggest eye-opener. I'm trying to think too long on it. I mean, I remember when I had my kids. Before I had kids, obviously did a lot of work on Market Dojo. When I was going to have kids, I was thinking, well, how on earth am I going to cope with work and kids? And you just do. And similarly, when we were about to go on the lockdown, we heard, oh, you're going to have to homeschool the kids. I was like, how are we going to do that? And I think it's just when things come up that you have to do, you just get on and do it, and make it work. And and I guess that's the same for all our employees, that challenges come up and we just get on and do it. So I think that's how the team pull around to get the job done as being a very, very happy eye opener actually to see that.
Yeah, I think
What
an
about yourself?
eye-opener. Yeah, an eye-opener for me is how much time I used to spend traveling to and from work, and getting that time back makes a difference. I know it seems really small, but I'm getting about over 5 hours back a week.
Yeah.
So I know it's only a small amount, but that's 250 hours a year, maybe a little bit more, just
Yeah, no,
by me
it's
just sitting in the car. And yeah, I mean, it is also quite tough working from home as well, because my wife doesn't work from home, so I seem to be getting more tasks to do around the home when she thinks when I'm working. So it
you
took
should be
it
doing
took a
the
few months to
ironing
get.
and the washing up.
Yeah, like she'll come back and she'll be like, oh, how come you haven't done the washing up and the cooking? I'll be like, I'm working, just because I'm here. So
Yeah.
we've got through that now, but we're still getting there. And yeah, we've got another question. Are you prepared? Do we have
Yeah, absolutely.
enough time for
Yeah.
another one?
Yeah.
What do you think is next for Market Dojo?
What's next for Market Dojo? Well, we had investment at the end of 2018. We're looking for investment now. We're not a company that stands still. Essentially, we're looking to grow. We've just had 3 new recruits this month, and we'd like to grow Market Dojo to be, the #1 choice for e-sourcing and supplier engagement software. I think there's a lot of opportunity in the world today in companies to help them with their procurement. And I think the on-demand model is a very unique selling point we've got to get out there. And I think as well the mid-market, companies 100 million plus, there's a huge market there which is just untapped, and it's not approached from an on-demand or procurement software perspective. What we'd like to do is do what Salesforce did to the sales side to do for the procurement world. So I think this is really exciting about the next things that we've got opened up.
And then another question for you
Yeah,
is,
absolutely.
what do you think procurement's main focus should be in the next 12 months?
Procurement. Well, there's a lot of talk, and there's always talk about the next big thing in procurement. But I think the thing which hampers procurement a lot is data. They don't have access to the data. So I'd say in the next 12 months, they should really focus on ensuring they've all the supply chain data that they need within their organization. So try to move away from Excel and spreadsheets. Try to understand what contracts they have, what their supply chain looks like. Because if this pandemic goes on, or if you get another pandemic, understanding your position will let you react more quickly to your competitors and put you in the leading position. If you understand your supply chain makeup and you can look at risk mitigation strategies, maybe you can secure secondary sources of supply more quickly than your competitors. So I think it's understanding your data has got to be one of the big challenges that face procurement.
Yeah, then a couple of questions are coming through now. They're liking your answers.
Yeah, please.
And then from the sense of how many problems it can solve, which of the Market Dojo products are you most proud of?
I mean, auctions is a good one. It's part of a wider solution now. The on-demand element, letting someone run an auction, they come online, they pay for it, they run the auction without us even knowing they've done it and save millions of pounds. I'm very proud of that capability. I'm also very proud of the kind of the pricing structure for our products in terms of the accessibility to a wider market. So on onboarding solution, for example, making that accessible to smaller size companies and have the functionality to appeal with the larger companies. And that's the same for our sourcing application. It's maybe not so much a product, but it's that ability to cater for simple procurement and advanced capabilities within one offering, and that accessibility. So I'd probably say it's the accessibility which I'm most proud of with our solutions.
Another question for you is, you've mentioned on-demand e-auction as a USP. Any tips on how I can sell e-auction benefits to the business?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I mean, on the base level, auctions, a lot of people think of auctions as just a way to save money. What auctions actually do is they give a lot more transparency in your negotiations, a lot more flexibility, a lot more openness. It gives other companies the chance to get involved. It doesn't, you don't have to start with an auction in mind, but having an auction as the ability to negotiate it gives you a lot more. You can get better pricing more quickly through an auction. So I think what I'd recommend is looking at the category, and if you could define it, it's got good liquidity in the marketplace. I think then you should definitely look at promoting the benefits. We've got a tool called Category Dojo, which helps you understand the kind of savings you could get from an auction. But I think also putting across the auctions can help improve supplier relationships through their transparency, with some work done on UWE. That was one of their conclusions. So we could certainly help with that if that person wanted to get in contact, and we could have a good chat.
Another question's come through. Answer it how you wish.
Yeah.
It's what keeps you awake at night?
Wow.
The kids.
Kids always get. One of them normally gets up during the night, actually, and so you're not wrong. Kids do keep me awake at night. Do you know, work doesn't keep me awake at night, because I'm very lucky to have. I've mentioned it before, and I mean, I've got very strong fellow co-founders, and there's 3 of us, so that helps handle any kind of any large decisions or challenges are shared amongst us. We've got a fantastic team who are all safe pairs of hands, which I think is really important. So it's not really work that keeps me awake at night. I don't know. It's probably what I'm going to do after lockdown with the kids. Is what keeps me awake at night.
Got anything planned?
What keeps you awake at night? What keeps you? I hope it's not support, Chris.
Oh yeah. 24/7 support me. I do it all the time. At the moment, I've just got a puppy, so he is proving to be a hard work at night. So he is keeping me awake at the moment. He's nocturnal, basically.
Oh,
so
wow.
he's it's painful.
I can imagine. He's not there today, I take it. I can't hear him.
No, I sent him away. When we tried, I was on a call yesterday, and he just decided to run upstairs because he's just learned how to run the stairs. and he just barks for my attention, and then he gets it, and then he can't go back down the stairs because he's still too small, and then he starts barking because he can't go back down the stairs. So I thought he's gone. Well,
No,
only for a little bit. I've got to get him after. And
very cool.
another question is,
You go.
what is your favourite place in the world to visit? West End office suites.
Do you know, I visit Sidmouth a lot because my parents like it. They've got a place down there. Salcombe on the south coast is always, from my childhood memories, I like to go. I haven't visited there in a while. So certainly like to visit there. So I'd probably just say this, Devon, the south coast. I really enjoy it down there. France as well, Brittany. I love traveling Brittany. I love just driving over there, having a baguette or a croissant. Really, yeah. I used to live in France, so I love croissant. I love north of France. It's fantastic place. We've had quite a few questions, haven't we?
Yeah, a couple more coming through. Is there's three co-founders.
Yeah.
How was it decided who will be this big boss, the CEO?
That's a good question. We drew straws. I think we've all got really good skills. We're very lucky, in fact, to have a very varied tool set. I think the only thing we don't have amongst our skill set is probably the legal side, and so the rest of it we've kind of dialed off. Nick Martin heads up the technical side, CTO side. Nick Drew heads up the operational side, and I kind of naturally fit into the kind of CEO side. But I also manage the marketing and finance at the moment. So it's really looking at our skill sets. In all fairness, we all sit on the board and make strategic decisions together. And I think one of the things that we're very lucky is that we might not. I think this is very important for an organization. We might not always agree on one particular area, but we will always find the consensus decision on the way forward, which I think is important for any company. So I think that's kind of answers that, I think.
Have you ever used a line to them, do you know who I am? In an argument, like, do you know who I am?
No.
Okay.
I'm not sure that would go down too well. I don't know if any of them are on the call at the moment, but don't worry, I'm not going to use that line.
Try it and see what happens.
Yeah.
Another question is, what does Alun think of industry-specific strategic sourcing platforms? Does Market Dojo want to stay industry agnostic or add industry-specific solutions moving forward?
Yeah, I think it's there's two ways to design a platform, isn't there? You can start industry specific and work up. We've deliberately left our platform to be quite agnostic in terms of it's not specific to one area, which means that we're very flexible across all procurement. And within our tool now, we're putting a lot of we've got things like templates, and you can create your own supplier databases, and we've got advanced lossing now, so you can do a lot with that. So I think it's a natural progression for ourselves and our customers and our partners to use Market Dojo in more industry specific ways. We did also, we've been involved in some joint ventures to look at this, such as Bonfire for raw materials. So I think that's only a natural progression as time goes forward.
And another question is, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
Myself personally, or the company?
Yeah, we'll go both.
I mean, I see the company is just growing very, very well in terms of what we do best to be that number one solution. In terms of myself, I'd like to think, heading up a much larger company, or sitting on a beach somewhere. I'm not sure. I'm not sure which.
Or
But I
lock,
think sorry,
or stuck in lockdown 8.
yeah, or stuck. Yeah, probably stuck in lockdown 8.
But yeah, that's all the questions I've got. Do you have any questions you want to ask me or anything? Or
Yeah, I've got. It's what do you think Market Dojo should do next?
what? Oh, thanks for putting me on the spot. Uh, it's a tough one really because even though I work in support and stuff and see what's going on, I'm not really a procurement expert as such. So my knowledge isn't probably the best. So I would like us to be able to have our own portal of suppliers where hosts can reach into for their own help. So if there's an event and they've only got 5 current participants, participants could register onto us and then we could use them. Well, not me personally, but
Yeah,
other hosts could look to see what we've got. Because sometimes I look at some events and think you could do some more people in here.
yeah,
Whereas if we could push, like help them, even if they decide not to use any of those participants or suppliers, for example, that could drive their prices down to meet with the original ones. Does that make sense?
yeah, yeah. I think. I mean, that your kind of supply database side of things.
That would have been a lot
Yeah,
easier to say supply database.
yeah. I think that's it's a really good point, and something we're certainly looking at with respect to integrations as well. So, yeah, I think that's a really good point. Um, well, I think are we coming to the end? I don't know how long we've been talking now. We've got some new product pages out. I think Toby's put that up there. So please go and have a look at our product pages. Thanks very much to the marketing team and everyone for their hard work in that. And oh, there we've got Market Dojo community. Yes, we've got our community site up and running. So any user listening at the moment, please go into the community and make some posts. I think we've got some kind of award for the most engaging post this month. So it's just started. Get on there and make a post. That'd be fantastic.
I think you're currently winning that award, aren't you?
I think I am. Yeah. I'll give myself the prize. Fantastic.
Yeah, I think that's everything from myself. So yeah, thank you everyone for joining, and we hope you've enjoyed it. We appreciate any feedback you have. Mainly positive feedback would be lovely, and we will hope to do this again soon with another co-founder if that's what you want. Well, thank you all very much for your time.
Thanks very much, Chris, and thanks, Toby, for organising it as well. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Toby.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.